Welcome to the America's Got Talent AfterBuzz After Show, Season 13, Episode 9, Judge Cuts 2. Tonight we've got illusionists, comedians, dancers, and more, so stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin. This song is in every single movie ever.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys ever knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Must be very cheap to license, guys.
You were saying that, I was like,
All right, guys. Well, welcome to our show tonight. We've got a few different things to talk about here. I am your host, Paul Payton, and I am joined by three wonderful hosts.
McKenzie Fayne.
and I'm Justine DiVanna.
Joseph Shepard.
Alrighty, guys. Well, let's go ahead and get started.
Sorry, I just realized your name was Sean Paul. Like, I just put that together, and I'm thinking of the singer, so.
It's only the 9th episode.
Wait, that's so funny.
No, second episode. For me.
Okay,
Yes.
well.
But I knew your name, but, like, you know when it just registers, I'm like, Sean Paul. Sorry, I had to throw that in.
That's okay. Well, let's go ahead and start with your overall thoughts for tonight, guys. Let's go ahead and start with our new co-host today.
Alrighty. Well, nothing honestly wowed me today. Like I thought there were some good things, and we'll talk about it. But there's a lot of times where I watch the show and I'm like, oh my god, I can't get over this person or group or something, and I need to go watch it again on YouTube. But I didn't feel that way today. But yeah.
I kind of agree. I did like the Magicians. I think that they were really good, and I still don't know how they did anything. So, yeah. I mean, can I say it? That I liked the Magicians. They were my favorite. I think that they are the ones that I felt a little like, ooh, like wow from. But you're right. I liked last week's talent better.
Okay. Joseph?
I said this before. I'm still waiting for my goosebumps. I haven't had my goosebumps yet. And I feel you exactly on that. Like, it was good, but, like, it wasn't amazing. And I want my goosebumps.
Me too. I'm there.
I must be the optimist here because I had a lot of moments that I really did enjoy. So let's go ahead and start talking about some of our favorite acts of tonight. I want to start off relating to what you said. The illusionists tonight were amazing. Shinlin was
Keep calling the Magicians.
But that's okay. He was my favorite by far of the two illusionists. Him and Rob Blake.
Yeah.
They were amazing tonight. I just the way that those cards were just disappearing. Usually I say that the magic tricks don't impress me when I'm watching them on TV, but this time I don't know what it was. It just stood out.
Really?
Yeah, I don't understand how Shinlin and Rob Blake, I just don't know how they did it. To me, it's like, it's just so hard for me to understand that it makes me anxious. I said this last time. I was like, I'm just sitting there trying to understand how this is happening. Like, how? I don't understand how they're doing it.
Right.
And I sit there the whole time just, like, really looking and trying to see what they're doing, and it never happens. So, like, stuff like that just freaks me out. Like, I think it's so talented and it's so great, but am I going to be able to survive never knowing how they did it? And I don't know.
I will say that when Shin ended up having Olivia Munn put her hand on the ace, if you notice, this might just be me, I felt like that card was thicker than any of the other cards.
Okay.
And I feel like when he would multiply the cards, they looked very thick. So I don't know if there was some type of like magnetic type thing or something that was in them to be able to keep them the way that they were. But when he passed her the card, if you pay attention, it looked like it was a thicker card.
YouTubers, if you've seen anything fishy and you want to point it out, be sure to comment in the comment section. And also, we appreciate you when you like, comment, and subscribe to this show. Share it, spread the word. We appreciate it so much. Let's go ahead and take a look at... Wow, you know what? We had some other amazing ones. I really liked Sophie. I just want to get that out right now.
Stop it.
I really liked
it. No.
I really did.
Wait, I love your reaction every time. It's so funny.
I just do not want to hear a kid sing. Like, I agree with you. She did have like a good
That
vibrato
vibrato,
and stuff.
bro.
However,
She had
it's
good
like
pitch, but I do totally, yeah.
it's like listening to a child just sing and like,
Yeah, I agree.
It's like that, and it is that.
Well, listen. Do any of you remember Rosemarie? She was an artist. She started out 5 years old, way back, and she became a sensation. And I would not doubt that Sophie could be something like that.
So where is she then?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it was way before.
I don't mean to be mean, but I mean, like, where, if she's a sensation, where is she?
Well, that was like 30 years ago that she was hot, like
I
in the
feel like
70s and 60s
Oh,
and stuff.
I thought you were
We're
talking about
way
like
history.
a couple. Oh, I thought you were talking about like a couple seasons ago. And
No,
I'm like, where is
no.
she?
I'm talking just in
Oh,
general
okay.
with pop society in America, that there are kids like that can really be outstanding and they can have a
God.
whole lifetime career.
People don't
She's
hate
like
me
80s
out there.
now.
I
if you
just
know
think
this
that
shit.
she's
Don't
too
worry,
young.
I educated her. It's
Sorry,
okay.
guys.
She's too young. We're not in the place where she has developed her voice enough for us to really see anything different.
Sorry.
No.
I was gonna say, I've heard kids sing, and you're like, wow. Like, there's kids that have come on that stage. You're like,
Correct.
I can't believe that that's a 5-year-old. She just sounded like
She's not 5.
How old
She's
was she?
like 3 or 4, and that's a big difference.
She
That is
is?
something
Yeah.
impressive too.
I thought
She
they
had
said 5.
And then she just turned 5 because she does not look 5.
Well,
5's like kindergarten. She is not in kindergarten.
okay. I still think that, like, I think I wrote it down. I said she's adorable, and she could have a viral video, and you just have to give her a few years to mature. And I just don't think
see
it's for,
if-
yeah,
yeah.
America's Got Talent. Like, okay, she gets on, but then her whole thing is like, she's okay for like a 5-year-old
Yeah.
singer, but how does she move forward? Like, that cute role she plays, she's not going to be that cute little girl.
Well, here's the thing
all
for
the
me.
time.
Here's the thing that I was really trying to pay attention to some technique here, and correct me if I'm wrong, viewers. But in addition to the vibrato, it seemed like she was able to sustain her notes pretty well, especially holding them in the end. And I just think that there was some actual good technique there.
There was pitch.
regardless
She
of her
was
age.
she was on her pitch. That's great.
just
and
sounds
fine.
like a kid to
But do
me.
you guys remember Carly Rose Sonnenclair from a couple seasons back? Like, that is a kid singer or a preteen, whatever, that I was blown away from her. I watched her YouTube video of her first audition several times.
How old was she?
After
I think she was like
13,
11 or 12,
yeah,
Yeah.
12 maybe.
But I will say that Sophie reminds me of Sophie, Grace, and Rosie that were on
Yes.
Ellen. Like, they weren't that talented, but they were cute,
Yeah.
and they had a little bit of talent, and they're a viral time, and it's like,
Yep.
okay, cool, but where are they now?
So let's talk about some other singers then. How about Angel City Chorale? And you have some singing experience, so I want you to
Yeah.
start off on this.
I mean, I was in a choir growing up, and I did some pageants and did the singing part of that, and did some national anthem and stuff. So, but I mean, so that's all great. But you know, I don't know. I wasn't. Okay. I'll start out for the good things with them. I did love everything they're about. I thought they had an amazing song choice with the Swahili song, and that was awesome. Their moves, like, that is really difficult to do when
Right.
you're in a choir, and to orchestrate that is really hard to figure out moves and even just the hand motions with that many people. And so I do
And then-
applaud them for that.
And then singing in a foreign language is the way they stepped it up this week too.
Yeah, I just remember growing up, like, we were in 7th grade doing like Italian songs, and it was never that difficult. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being harsh, but I don't really think that's that big of a deal because it's just singing. But their voice were great. Do I think they deserve the Golden Buzzer? No, but I guess we'll get to that.
I agree with that aspect. I also felt like, do you remember like when you'd watch 90s Disney movies and you would have like the soundtrack behind? That's how I felt that they are. Like, I
Yes.
was like, put them in a soundtrack for a Disney movie because their voices are great, but I don't think it's anything that.
Maybe that could happen, and that would be a pretty good gig.
It
would be a great
yeah,
gig
it would
for
be.
them.
Yeah. I love that they're all, I love, like you said, what they stand for, the all different races, sexes, religions. I love that. I love that they're all coming together. I think they're incredibly talented. They're very unison, and they're really great at harmonizing. And I think that they definitely made a crowd feel something. But I do agree, Golden Buzzer, I think the only reason they did it was because of their story. If they just came on that stage and sang that, and they didn't talk about how they're all for races, religion, especially in such like a time where that is very crucial for everyone to come together, I think that's why they got in the Golden Buzzer, more of their backstory and what they sang. That's my opinion.
So I really don't want to discount these backstories then, because it feels like it teaches you it teaches you more about them and how some people are very humble, and as long as you're not using the backstory to distract, and you're using it more so to enhance the actual talent that's there, I think that's okay.
But I think that's why they got it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I can agree with you to some aspect, because if you don't know somebody's backstory and they come on, like, I'm judging you hardcore. But then if you have like a little bit of sympathy towards somebody, then you're gonna lean more towards them.
Yeah, like I felt. I mean, I liked them more knowing about what they were and their story. I just you get connected to them more because you know more about them.
But I have a question for you guys. Do you think that they tape stories about everybody, but then just show us certain ones that, you know, make it?
Yeah.
Well,
Or-
I just know from past experience. I auditioned for the X Factor the very first season that it
Really?
was.
Ooh, wait, what did
And-
you do?
I sang and rapped.
I need to see
I have to
this.
find this
Wait, is
clip.
it on TV?
I made it to the judges' rounds, but that did not make it to TV.
Oh, I did that for American Idol. I tried out for American
Yeah?
Idol. Yeah, and I made it like to the first round.
Yeah, that's exactly where I made it.
Yeah.
But the thing about that is that they literally will pull somebody who has a story over somebody who has talent. And it's a big thing that these competition shows do, because the viewer at home wants to have a relatable story.
Yeah.
And if you are an average Joe and you have a 9-to-5 job and, you know, you do sports or whatever on, you know, the weekend, that's what you do. You have a family, whatever it is. If there's nothing
Wait, I
that's
have a
pulling you.
question.
Hold on just a second. That topic right there, we do want to save a little bit for our special segment. Your question real quick, and then we'll go ahead and move on to the next contestant.
I just have a question about this whole experience for you. Like, how do they know if you have a story or not? Because I know my experience, I went up to the judges with 3 people, and we got 15 seconds to sing a little thing, and they were like, nope.
So-
and I was like, okay.
That's how it happened.
It's
You had
probably
15
the
seconds,
applications,
and then
right?
after that, you filled out the application, and you had like this whole big thing, like, please tell us your story.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and talk about another one here. We have Joseph. What do y'all think of Joseph?
I loved him.
I felt the same way.
He's such a sweetie.
Yeah, he's very
I like
humble.
that he. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
I just like that he's. Let's see what I heard about him. I like that he's shy and awkward, and he's one of those people that if you didn't watch him, you'd come on the stage and be like, you know, he's so starstruck. He's so, you know,
Nervous.
He's so nervous. He really doesn't. Like, he hasn't been exposed to the world, so he's someone that you're like, oh God, he's trying to go for his dreams. He's
Right.
not going to be good. They built it up to look like that, and then he's like, incredible, and you're like, what is happening? And I really hope he keeps his innocence, which is hard to do, because, you know, he even said people are interested in him a little more than they were, and like, you want him to stay that way and not get like full of himself. So like, I like the way he is, and I want him to stay like that.
He reminds me. There's a couple of things about him that just reminds me of some really good artists. Charlie Puth, like just in the way that he kind of sings sometimes, and Shawn Mendes, just like it's almost like he's a mixture of those two to me. And those, man, if he can get up there with those guys on the billboards, ooh.
Well, I mean, Charlie, both, I see what you're saying, because in the beginning, like, I watched Shawn Mendes before he became anything on Vine, and he was
I
a little
forgot he was.
awkward. He was a little
Yeah?
awkward kid on there. So I do see that. Charlie Puth is still awkward. You see
Correct,
his last
correct,
video?
yes.
But he is an amazing, talented
no,
guy.
he is an
I
amazing-
know.
amazing.
You guys are gonna kill me, but I don't know who that is.
My mom won tickets on the radio and just went to Charlie Puth. You should know who Charlie Puth is.
I don't know who it is.
We'll educate you.
Yes,
Don't you worry.
please do it. There's things I need to learn. I think, you know what it is? It's like, is he all over the radio?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't listen to
so
the radio.
Let's move on to the next
So that's probably
topic.
why. Like, I don't
We're gonna-
listen to that. I don't like today's music, so maybe I'm just not like open to it.
Okay. So we can talk more about that. Let's go ahead and move on to some of our least favorite acts.
Oh, jump rope girl, no. Bah!
Oh, I felt so bad. The poor girl had broken legs.
Yeah, I
Or
liked her.
broken ankles.
We didn't get to see a lot of her, and that's how you know that the people aren't going to make it, because they don't show the full act. They kind of just give a little background. You could hear the music from what they're moving toward.
Yeah.
Correct.
They keep that going, and it's just, you just know they're not going to make it, because if it's worth the audience seeing, then they're going to keep it. So you just know. Every time they do that, I know that. I don't understand. I think she's really talented. I think she's great. She hurt her legs. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't think she was bad. There was no offense. Like,
Hans,
Sophie's worse.
I don't like Hans in any way, shape, or form. You do?
No, I agree with you.
Oh, okay. Because I can't.
it's not that
There's
I
nothing
don't
there for me.
understand. Yeah, I think he's a lot of these people are viral sensations. Like, I could see him going viral. Oh, look at this guy on the internet that's all like fancy and does all this stuff. Okay, that's
Seen
cool.
it. Been there, done that already.
Correct.
But exactly. So what more are we going to see from him? Is the question.
I think he's one of those. It's his character that really stands out, and he brings some sort of like some fun and excitement to the show that I don't see Hans and any other contestant. So he does bring something unique. I just can't pinpoint what it is.
So would you go and pay to see him perform?
I think that there's people that would.
Oh.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You see, I could watch him
Would
free,
you pay to
from
see
my
him
video.
perform?
Yes.
Please
Comment.
answer.
Please comment.
In the YouTube.
Would you rather see, or would you pay to see him perform, or is he someone that's cool to look at online and then
I
swipe?
think neither. So who's with me? Neither of those options.
I think it's just a little overly dramatic. Like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He just wants to be like, but it's almost so forced that I'm like, all right,
And
I get
we've
it.
done this. Like he's
Yeah.
copying. This isn't even unique to me.
Yeah.
And he's gonna make it to the live shows, and when he makes it to the live shows, it's gonna be some big stunt out thing. He's gonna probably start at the top of a staircase, come down. There's gonna be
Yep,
dancers
yep.
and everything around him. They're
Mark
gonna make
your
it.
words,
Yeah,
yeah.
watch. It's gonna happen.
So I'm surprised how much the judges like him, because to me I don't see. This sounds really bad. Like I don't see talent in what he does. He's just like a fun guy. That
Leo's is better than him. The
the comedian.
the telekinesis. The
God.
telekinesis.
That actually
guy.
made me
like
laugh.
him quite a
It's
bit.
so funny.
Wait a second. Maybe. Do you think he should have moved on instead of Hans?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I still didn't love him.
Telekinesis?
Leo, is that what his name
Yeah.
is?
Okay.
Yeah,
How about when
it's-
Howie goes, wow, and then he goes, I know. Like, I know.
No,
See, had character.
but see, would
So
you
funny.
go? I always break it down to this. I always think of the
Careful on the mic.
the.
A little too close.
Oh, is it too
You're
loud?
going to a comedy show and a magic show at the same time.
I just feel like
Get a couple drinks and like it is a show. It is fun night. Come on,
I
we'll go.
agree.
You want to come?
you'd pay to see him.
I mean, if it was under $15, sure.
I was just gonna say 15.
Okay, exactly.
We are totally the same person.
But would you? Okay, but think about it as like I think about who's gonna be the $1 million act and who's worth that $1 million. Is he a $1 million act?
No,
I
but
don't
he's
think so.
better than Hans. I tell you that much.
I don't think either of them are. I don't know. I just didn't think.
You know what? I
I
have
don't
an
know.
act that tops them all. Exit Stance. How about that one?
Who?
Remember?
Yeah,
Clearly, he was not that memorable.
Wait, what was
remember
it?
the guy
Wait,
that was dressed in the
literally,
white and he had the little box on his
Oh,
chest?
that's right.
Oh, the robot man.
No.
He reminded me of a bad Black Mirror episode. Like, I
Nope.
was like, this is
Done.
done.
It's
The
it's
dog
interesting
girl.
that he before we move on, it's interesting that he got to the judge cuts and it just didn't stand out compared to. I mean, it stood out. You know,
Who are we talking about?
The
Exit
robot
Stance.
man.
Yeah, it's. I feel like I'm surprised he didn't have a little more prepared. You know, like his preparation into whatever he was going to do, it just wasn't there. I don't think that.
It's one of
this
those
time.
things that you can tell that he thought he had such a good idea and it just
Yeah, 'cause
didn't.
he spent so much
hit.
time with the backdrop and everything. I was like, oh,
No,
And
I
the
like
funny
backdrops.
things in
I like
it and-
backdrops.
you do like backdrop.
But this time it didn't do it for me. Man, keep hustling because you got to come back and try something better next
I
time.
can't do the animal stuff.
Oh, it just gives me like a little tick anytime I see an animal because I'm just like, okay.
Our animals and kids special.
Wait, what do you do?
Like that. Like it's just like, I don't know what it is, but it's like, you can train a dog. We all have seen it. A dog can push something. A dog can jump. A dog can flip. Great, wonderful. Next thing.
This was wrecking.
Like, do we need to add America's Got People talent to the? Like, I don't understand. Like, what are you not under? Like, you weren't doing anything.
Because
could-
I think that's what they're doing is they're taking they're using these dogs and they're making it seem like, oh, it's our act, but it's really the dog. Like you're just training the dog to do things. It's like a dog show.
And I'm not like the biggest person on. Oh my God, that dog. So it's just
But
even that.
This is a really weird question I'm going to ask, and I'm probably going to get some hate.
Go ahead,
You know,
Joseph.
like how Ringley Brother and Barnum and Bailey, like they always got in trouble for like elephant acts and stuff.
Yeah.
How is that any different from a dog? I'm sorry. Like I just.
No, I totally
the
get
only
that.
the only difference I can see is that dogs are more domesticated, and
What does that matter, though? Kind of.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but that's the
No.
only. That I'm just making an
maybe-
observation
yeah,
that that's the
I
only
see,
thing that
I
I
see.
can
Or maybe
see.
the way they're
Yeah.
treated after, like the dog will go home and with the person and they feed them and this, not that they don't feed elephants, but then the elephant goes back into its wherever it goes. Like maybe, do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I
Yeah,
see what
yeah.
you're
You know what
saying.
I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
I'm just trying to think of the reason, but who knows? What'd you guys think
let's
about?
see. Our Reckon was not doing so good.
Future
Existence
Kings?
was not doing so good. Future Kings was amazing. Was one of my favorites.
They were good.
One of my favorites.
They were okay. I've seen better dancers on the
correct.
show.
Well, why don't we let's go ahead and move into that segment. Let's talk about our Golden Buzzer acts of the night. And I will start with Future Kings because I actually thought they were one of the best. I just think that it's great that they weren't like they're not professional dancers apparently, like they're doing all this stuff. They're actually out there teaching, and I can see why, because their choreography is outstanding,
Yeah.
and they're bringing in different types of elements. That they had b-boy work today. They had some old school moves. I thought that this, just like the judges said, I thought that the song choices were great. They did a little mix up between finesse and poison, so they brought the current in with the old school, and they even did some viral moves from Backpack Kid with his little move
Floss?
there. Yeah,
I can floss.
the floss. And so that's why I think that Future Kings was definitely one of my favorites, and him and Shinlin are up there. For
Listen,
me.
I love Future Kings. I think that they're amazing. Like, you cannot deny it. But has anybody ever walked on Hollywood Boulevard? I'm pretty sure you guys have.
Right.
You see those dancers do the exact same thing, but sometimes even more. Like, they take people from the sidewalks and they just like jump over and flip, and like
Yep.
they do the same thing. So to me, I'm like, you just gotta step it up.
But you see, with all the, I like step it up. That was a great little word there.
Step it up.
I just like that they had so many different elements combined into this piece, though, because a lot of the times when I am walking on Hollywood Boulevard or in Venice or in Santa Monica, I'll see like one portion of what they did tonight, and because they were able to bring it all and they were able to make it a step better than the last time, that's why I really support their act tonight.
I just want to know why they put the child in there. The child cannot
Do you
dance.
not like kids?
Yes, he can.
No,
Can
watch,
you do those
watch
moves?
his footwork. Watch his footwork.
Yeah, it's not as good.
He was
It isn't.
everybody behind him was doing footwork, and he just did his upper body.
And he
That
just did a
is-
flip.
No,
He
that
just
is-
did a flip.
That is true. That he was like he's still got a lot more practicing to do, but I think that
That adds a likable appeal. People
But
like
you
kids.
need
is
to
true.
showcase his moves then. Don't give him moves he cannot do.
True.
Because if you're giving him moves that everybody else is doing and he can't move his feet correctly, that makes the rest of the group look bad, my
Yep.
opinion.
that is a good point.
Like, throw him
I
in the
will
air
give
for
you
a
that.
couple times.
Yeah,
send him
exactly.
backstage, I don't know.
Yeah, and if
Yeah.
he does like the backpack kid thing and like that's what he does, like add that
But you know
as
what?
a
So
bigger
he didn't
thing.
even really do that well. And
Yeah.
I feel bad, like, ranking on this little kid, but I mean, it's true. He didn't even
Yeah.
floss that well.
And if the other the rest of the
I
dance
think
group, if they're all gonna dance in unison and he doesn't have to do what they're doing, like you said, like have him do an extra
Yeah.
few flips while they're doing it. Like, don't have him do what they're doing. You don't like kids, do you?
You know what?
I do like kids, but I think that kids always have a lot of room to grow. And to
I
be
agree.
able to have a kid has to have an extraordinary amount of talent in them.
You sound just
And
like
if-
Simon. This is what Simon would say.
And if they're just
He is
if they're
Simon.
just good for
Yep.
their age, if they're good for they took, dance classes since they were 2 and they're good and they're average for what they are. Unless you're doing something so amazing and so phenomenal, like you still got a lot of ways to
agree.
grow.
You know, on this point, there is a group that I do want to mention that was not on this show, but they have kids in the group and they are amazing. Their name is Claymation, and you should really look them up because they're incredibly skilled, and maybe we'll have some footage on them later on sometime. But let's go ahead and move on to some other people here. Let's see, Golden Buzzers. Did you have a couple Golden Buzzers that you really thought were the standout groups tonight?
Oh, we didn't talk about Vicky, the comedian.
Oh, so I was just gonna say that. So, if I was gonna give my golden buzzer to somebody tonight, in the beginning, I was feeling her out. The magicians for me are forgettable. I love it in the moment, but for some reason, they're always forgettable to me. Comedians I like, and singers I really like. So for me, there was no crazy singers for me to just like attach to. So Vicky would be my golden buzzer. She for me, I didn't laugh in the beginning, but she got me so good by the middle and end that I was sold.
Right.
Sold. And I loved her.
I don't know. I mean, comedians are hard for me because when you go out and you're a comedian, it's like, okay, make me laugh. And then so knowing that she's a comedian, I'm sitting there, not even purposely judging twice as hard, but I'm sitting there like, okay, is she gonna say something funny? Like if someone's funny, it just comes out. Like I just didn't feel that. Like I like her, but I didn't like laugh out loud. Like,
I love the ones that come out in character. She didn't come out, she said, okay, yeah, I hope to make the audience laugh or whatever. I like when they come and they're like, I don't know if I'm gonna make them laugh, let's see. And then like, you know what I mean? And just funny and people laugh from the get-go. So that natural.
Yeah, and like you haven't been on the we haven't been on the panel together, so I said this last week. I'm just the singers. It's just not my thing because there's American Idol, there's X Factor, there's so many places for singers. So America's Got Talent is like I want to see something different. So that's why like I don't attach to singers that much.
So I get my goosebumps typically come from singers. So that's why I'm like, because they blow you away sometimes, and coming from loving singing kind of. I mean, I'm not like a singer or anything, but like I just love, for some reason, music and singing is just awesome to me. So
it does belong on the show. It does still belong there.
What do you think?
About singing or about my golden buzzer?
All of it, and the comedian, and Vicky.
I would have actually pushed the golden buzzer off the table and not given it to anybody.
Yeah,
I didn't think anybody was that great,
Yep.
and I don't think anybody was that deserving of it.
You know what? That I take back mine, and I totally go with you because that's such a better idea.
Do you like Vicky?
I didn't laugh, but I think I'm in the same mindset as what you are. I think that she had some funny jokes, like a little chuckle, but like I have never watched America's Got Talent with a comedian and be like, wow, like
Okay,
slapping
so
my
Joseph.
thigh.
Like no Dave
So
Chappelle,
Joseph.
not like it's just not there.
So Joseph, real quick, I just want to go over these choices here and make sure there's nobody tonight. So Shinlin,
No.
okay, obviously not Sophie. Future Kings,
No.
Yeah, but they
Angel-
would have stood out to him already. Like going through the list is, I feel like, is because if he had somebody that stood out to him, he couldn't wait to get on this panel to talk about. Wouldn't he be like, that'd be my golden buzzer?
Yeah, like going over it.
Reminding
He's
him
like,
is
no.
just gonna
right?
be like,
I'm just doing this for review purposes here. That's all. So Angel City Chorale, nothing.
No.
Hans, nothing.
No.
Rob Blake, nothing.
No.
Joseph,
No.
not even your own name.
Wait.
Then,
Joseph was good, but no.
then you're just a hater.
no, he's real.
It's okay. No.
I'm
Yeah,
into
he's
that.
making some really good points tonight. Really good points. Okay, so
See, the magicians I love, or the illusionist, because I'm sitting there like this every time on my seat, like, how are they doing it? I'm sitting there trying to figure it out. Like, it's the most involved that I am in. I'm not, like, I just can't, I don't
Let
know.
me ask
I
you
love it.
something, because I will get on your level if so for me it's the people that we've seen in previous seasons and everything where they like, what are they, mind readers?
Oh.
And they have on a piece of paper in a stuffed bear, zipped up, crazy from home, and picture like crazy stuff, and it's like written what they said.
Yeah,
That's
wait,
pretty
so
much
That's what are they called? Like mind readers? Those people that do those kind of tricks.
they could be illusionists.
I don't know. I know what you're talking about.
Anyway, those kind of people blow me away too. So I guess I'll add that in there.
Yeah, there was last week. Didn't someone do that with the balloon, and then it was like the note, and then they ended it?
Oh,
For the balloons, I can only think of
I think it was the balloons.
Oh, the ring and the balloons, the hearts, the heart balloons.
Yeah, maybe that's not what you're
that's
saying.
right.
I'm
that's
just I
right.
just remember something
I
like
don't
that.
think he moved on, did he?
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
there was a guy that had, remember he had his baby, and it was like a video of his baby, and then the baby got older, and then I don't know, it was just something crazy about. Somebody out there knows what I'm talking about, but
If
forget
you
it. Let's move
know,
on.
go ahead and add that in the comments, guys. Let's go ahead and move on to our special segment for tonight. There was a moment that caught me in this show. It was with the Angel City Chorale, and it was the fact that every single one of them had different kinds of jobs that they do, and then they have their expressive artistic outlet with the chorale. And I had to get that word right.
Chorale.
And
'Cause Tyra didn't.
and so I'm
What did she do?
wondering.
She was like,
Because I've heard this on. I actually heard this from Kevin in his show, The Tomorrow Show. Check that out, guys, because that's a very good
Amazing.
show from our CEO, Kevin Undergaro. full-time gigs and part-time artistry. Are we in a new era where that is what it's going to be for us?
Wait, where's the Angel City?
We're in the City of Angels right now,
Wait,
Mr. Joseph.
why isn't it called the City of Angels?
It's
didn't know
okay,
that?
but
No.
stay with me. Stay with me. Are we in the new era? Are we in the new era where full-time gigs and part-time artistry is the way it's going to be for us future artists? Because
No.
That sucks if that is
No,
true.
I don't
Yeah.
believe so.
elaborate, please.
I agree with you too.
You want to take that reins there?
I mean, my opinion is no, because if you're that talented and you're that good and people will pay to see you,
You'll blow up.
Yeah, you're not gonna need another job when you're already getting paid to do what you want to do.
Do I think that we're in an age where you're coming up and you're gonna need to work harder and if that means that you have to work at Dunkin' Donuts, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then go play a gig 7 to midnight, then absolutely. But no, you're right. It wouldn't have to stay like that forever.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it's just getting it's kind of hard for
It's becoming oversaturated. Like,
yeah,
there's just
that's
so many
what the
people
issue
trying
is.
to do the same thing.
That is what the issue is.
And I think it's like a part of it is harder to become noticed because there's so many people, but then also you hear it's also a little easier because it's like you don't have to just go casting call to casting call. You can get noticed on the internet. Like, so it's like, what do you guys think? Do you think it's harder or not to become big or?
Well, I like what you said about it just being oversaturated, because one thing that I've heard from Kevin a lot is that it's getting harder and harder to be like the next Maria Menounos or the next Ryan Seacrest, and we just have to get more creative with our outlets now because of things like YouTube and so forth.
And just to play off of that, I think what you're saying, it's more in our hands. More now in this day and age with the social media and all these things, it's up to us individually to work harder to get there. Or before we had that, it was kind of like, oh, you knew the right people, you were in the right place, you kind of put yourself, like, it was more...
You move to LA and you go on auditions and then you either make it onto E! News or you don't. Like, it's not...
There's not little Shawn Mendes doing little vines from his house and then blows up.
But
like
now
crazy.
there's so many places, like, instead of just, NBC, E! News, like, instead of having a few outlets, there's now... like E! Online, there's People Mag Online, like there's so many other options. It's just, I think maybe even if it's not the entertainment industry, whatever it is, I think it makes you feel, it's hard. It makes you feel kind of small because it's so oversaturated. You're like, what's going to make me stand out over everybody?
But then we
being
can
nice,
feel,
being a good person, not sleeping with people to get where you want, and not hurting people to get to where you want.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah,
but,
and that's how you make it.
But it's just, I see people that don't deserve it and make it, and I'm like, how the hell is this person that I know and I've met and has done stuff?
Absolutely. But
how are they succeeding?
That's part of it.
I
That's
think
part of the journey. That's part of it.
Everything matters. Like, every single thing matters that you do, like, while you're out here. Everything that we do is an audition. I've heard that from Maria. So every sort of interaction, which leads to networking, matters, and that must be some of the things that they're doing and capitalizing on somehow. They're just being really clever with it.
And working harder than the people next to you.
I feel like we're in a therapy session.
Okay.
They're
so
helping
then,
me.
That's good, though. That's good.
Thanks, guys.
Because we need to be inspired from shows like America's Got Talent and from everything that our mentors are saying, so that we can continue to move on in a positive light, even though we're so saturated with different artistry.
And this isn't just for you guys. This is also for people out there, like, no matter what you want to do. I always say that. I always say, how come out of thousands and thousands of people, in LA, and only a handful, make it when everybody's out here trying? It's like, but I don't know who it was. I don't think it was Kevin and Maria, but I remember someone saying that's because these people that are trying aren't really trying.
I've heard Kevin and Maria say that.
They have said that. They're the ones that are like, oh yeah, I'm an actor, but do you take acting lessons? Do you go on auditions? No, you just say it, and you're not really trying. So that's why the ones that you really that's what's gotten in my head. If you really work, you'll get it.
The biggest thing one of the biggest things Kevin has ever said to me was hard now, easy later, or easy now, hard later. And that's always stuck with me. I think that's a great piece of advice for you viewers to hear.
Outstanding. All right, well, guys, let's go ahead and talk about who we think would be the season winner from our options tonight.
No one.
No one. Give it to me.
Well, out of tonight, if we had to choose somebody from tonight's episode,
Shinlin.
Joseph.
I'd say. Yeah, maybe Shinlin or because I like Rob Blake. I like what he did, but kind of like what I don't know if it was Simon who said it that he doesn't have like the stage presence yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I think either Shinlin or I could see Joseph or Future Kings just because they're different. Definitely not Hans,
No.
not Vicky, and not
Poor
the
Hans.
choir because I mean. I like the choir, that's awesome, but are they going to win America's Got Next Talent? America's Got Talent?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think so. That's just my opinion.
they might get a Disney job. Come on now.
I wish that
Still, that's great.
if Hans did get onto the finals, I wish that America would like pull some tomfoolery and like start voting for him and the purpose of like trolling.
Trolls, where are you?
I think
we
that would be
need you.
hilarious. Like somebody who didn't deserve to win actually wins.
I would boycott the
No, that would
entire.
suck.
Calling all trolls.
That would be awful.
For me, I'm definitely I like Shinlin. I think he's one of the top contenders of this episode, and Future Kings. I like them too. I don't want to choose.
Well, Tyra, our host here, she can't even get the names right.
Yeah.
let's not be so hard on Tyra.
Why? I thought this was her
Tyra.
job. She judges all the America's Next Top Model. Why can't we judge her?
Tyra, you're doing amazing out
Wait,
there.
where did Nick Cannon go? Am I
Don't
late
worry
on
about
this?
it.
I don't
No,
know, but-
I like Nick
Where is
Cannon
he?
too. I think.
He's at home with Moroccan and Moreau. Moreau and Morocco.
I didn't even know their names.
Yeah.
I think, man, I always have a lot of sympathy for these guys like in the spotlight because I just imagine that there's.
But there's so many other people that could have gotten the job. Do it right.
That's true.
There's
That's
so
true.
many people that could do it correctly. So, like, I don't know.
And it's just
I don't
awkward.
have a soft spot for that.
It's awkward. It's not. It doesn't play well to the camera.
Uh-oh.
I've just worked with Tyra, so
Oh,
What'd you
yeah.
say?
I said I've worked.
Wait,
with
so
Is
this
she
is
nice?
perfect. What
Yeah,
are
tell
your
us.
thoughts? That's exactly who we want to hear from.
Tyra works hard.
Yeah.
Right.
Tyra's not great with a prompter.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
So
So it makes more sense
Yeah.
now
Yeah,
that we
I
know
think
that.
I think that
and that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never done what she does exactly, so I can't judge and I can't hate whatsoever, and I'm not going to. I'm gonna.
But we've seen it be done better. So why would you know? It's fine. She's good with America's Got Talent. She should have just kept.
You know what?
That.
Oh,
This would
America's Next
be
Top
a
Model.
great.
I mean, America's Next Top
Yeah.
Model.
This would
yeah.
be something great for the commenters to talk about too. Like, what? First of all, who is your favorite host, and what do you think of Tyra and how she's doing, and like, is there something that you really like that she's doing, or something she could
And I don't
improve
think
on?
I don't think it's being mean,
What-
judging her. Like she can be a
Correct.
great person, but
Yeah.
we're
What-
like allowed to have an opinion. People
Yeah.
judge us all the time.
What I
Okay.
also
People
what
are
I
judging
also
right now.
think that
Likes
it
and
is.
dislikes.
What I also think that it is I think that if you look at like Nick Cannon, you look at Jerry Springer and Regis Philbin, they had careers dealing with people who were much younger and much older. So, Live with Regis and Kathy Lee, when he had younger people come on the show all the time. You had older people. You saw talent evolve. So you had somewhere to speak. Nick Cannon, you were on Wild and Out. You're on all that. You're at all this stuff. So you know what it's like to be in that spotlight. Tyra is great at, like you said, America's Next Top Model because she was a model. That's
Yeah,
where her,
Yes,
her
that's her lane.
base is.
Yeah.
So when you're getting into a different category and something else and you're trying to deal with people's emotions and you really haven't dealt with people's emotions, I think it comes a little bit harder.
Think about Khloe Kardashian. How that didn't work for the X Factor.
It would have worked out better than this is to me.
Like sometimes it just doesn't work, and I think I'm not saying not give her a chance. I did interview her with I don't even know who it was with, but I did interview her like last year, and she even said like she likes more reality instead of movies because it's not as hard like reading lines and stuff. So that's why is she reading lines for this, or is she really just going off being herself? Like we don't see behind the scenes, so I'm not sure as a host what she's really like told to do. is she told to do anything? You said she has a teleprompter.
But we don't even hear her. We hear awkward laughs, awkward looks at the camera, just nothing natural. And again, like, I love Tyra. I respect her. I think she's great at what she does. Like, you can't knock that. But at the same time, this just isn't a position. There's few people in the world that can be a Maria Menounos and do everything. And be good and perfect and amazing at everything.
And it's kind of like finding your lane and staying in your lane. I mean, at the end of the day, like, if you find, as you know, when Tyra gave up America's Next Top Model and she gave it to Rita Ora, nobody liked Rita Ora hosting the show.
Okay.
And Tyra ended up going back to it and like retaking it over because you kind of learn, oh, you know what, like, I was perfect for this. I should not have given that up.
Yeah. And Tyra is perfect for that.
Yeah.
That show is one of my favorites.
It doesn't make her any less of a host, or it doesn't mean anything, doesn't make her, just because this is not her kind of show, doesn't make her, it's not that she doesn't work as hard for it. It doesn't mean any of the things that we're saying. It's just people have their niche and some people don't. Like, it's like me talking about, because I'm, I do makeup and pop culture, and, like, that's my thing. It's like me talking about football. Like, it just wouldn't be my kind of job.
And you could do all your research, and you could you could have your facts, and everything would be straight, but it's just not natural.
And it's not natural. It's not in your heart. You have to do what, who knows? But maybe she loves it and it is natural, so let's just, we'll see.
We'll let it be for now.
What happens.
Well, guys, I do want to thank you so much for tuning in. That about wraps it up for us. Be sure to check us out on our Instagrams, our Twitters. You can find me at Sean Paul Payton.
And you can find me at McKenzie Fayne.
And you can find me at Let's Face It with Justine.
And I'm at Joseph A. Shepard on all social media handles. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Alrighty.
Until next time.
See you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.